think you asked it just before. Will it take over financial planning in the future? Would it say?
Oh, I asked ChatGPT
Yeah.
if it would take over. It said no. Yay!
Any advice and information from this podcast is general only. It has been prepared without taking into account your individual circumstances and needs. Before acting on any advice from this podcast, you should assess and seek advice on whether it is appropriate for your needs, financial situation, and investment objectives.
Hello.
Fitzy,
Welcome back.
welcome.
Funny enough, ladies and gentlemen, and listeners and viewers, this is our last episode. We introduced and talked a fair bit about artificial intelligence and financial advising and how it can help people, whether they use a financial advisor, whether they just hit up ChatGPT for like, how do I get rich? On that, what you're seeing here with us two is actually an artificial intelligence generated view. Do I look younger? Not quite. Has it made me smarter? I'm not sure. Probably has to you, that's right. You didn't need much refine, but no, that's a joke. We're back. Thank you for listening in again. This is not an AI copy of us, but it could get hold of this and do what it wants with us if it wanted to.
Make us look younger and
Beyond help, maybe you could, maybe it'll work. But so we covered a fair bit in our last episode. We're going to carry on just to finish off on the AI side for those who are listening. We definitely sort of talked about the pros and cons of AI, how you and I use AI, which you opened up, we're being honest about it. It's got some definite positives. It's enhanced your area in some ways. I think you asked it just before. Will it take over financial planning in the future? Would it say?
Oh, I asked ChatGPT if it would take over. It said no. Yay!
Where's your I don't know, your drive to take over the world? That's fair enough. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, that's good.
But and why human advisors are still relevant, even though AI can do a few things like compute quicker, pump out strategies or complex equations a bit quicker for financial advising. Where they're definitely the big ones, the behavioural, emotional level.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we touched on the last episode, but another one thing that stand out that you mentioned before was the bereavement of some clients. Whether you've had them for several years, that emotional connection with the client, you want them to do well, you've helped them get somewhere financially and helping them dealing with like loss of a spouse. Again, can't always be about the financial stuff. But Joe, I think you've answered some questions through GPT. Some questions that people might ask it. Care to dabble in one of them, or do you want me to?
Let's put it to the test.
Cool.
Financial advisor versus ChatGPT. Here we go.
It's got how many push-ups can GPT do?
Stretch, yeah.
Please come at me. Funny enough, as a side note, here's just a side question, Jessie.
Okay.
If there's anyone in your world, friends, family that you know, who would be closest to being a human version of AI? I reckon we've both got the same answer. Go.
What do you mean?
Someone who's maybe a bit emotionless, works a bit like a robot, can compute things pretty well.
I see where you're going with this.
Kind of works 25 hours a day.
No sleep.
Doesn't sleep.
Maybe a few hours.
Doesn't hug clients.
Some holidays.
Works on holidays, then works on the holidays that aren't holidays and are holidays.
Yeah.
Created an 8th day so he could work on that 8th day.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Yep. Shout out to Mr. Fanblade if you're listening. You are probably the closest thing to a human version of AI.
Yeah.
Except he's a bit rickety, his knee doesn't work and he whinges a bit. He probably, to be honest, he probably drinks more coffee than AI.
Yeah. Can't beat him there.
Cool. So think about yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, if you were to, who's the person in your life you think is closest version to AI?
Yeah. Wow. Great question, Yannick.
So I just thought I'd throw that out there. Probably going to get fired after listening to that.
Yeah. Business owner, yeah.
So, J-Mate, we tickled AI and we even talked about some of the questions you can answer at high level, technical, financial, or think of 20-year-old Fitz who didn't know that much about financial stuff. Google wasn't around. How do I get rich? What shares do I buy? They're good questions.
Yeah.
And I guess we asked some of those to AI. Did you want to kick off? Do you want me to?
Yeah, I'll have a go at the first one if you want.
Go. That's you.
Right, so
Just a precursor. We essentially sort of chucked into GPT some of these questions, and just to see, we asked it, hey, give us like a 60 or 70 word summary on a few of these questions. You could ask GPT or any of the AI platforms to go, hey, give me 1,000 word summary on this, add some detail, level of complexity, but just a general outline. That's kind of where we went. J mate,
Alright.
first one, go.
I'll say what ChatGPT said, and then maybe we'll
Do-
check what a financial advisor.
We'll do the question first, and then we'll.
We asked it, how do I become financially independent in 10, 20 years?
So 10 years and 20 years.
Yeah. So it said, financial independence means building enough investments to cover your living costs. Achieving it in 10 years usually requires a very high savings rate, strong income growth, and a higher risk tolerance. And then it said a 20-year path relies more on consistent saving, diversified investing, superannuation, and the power of compounding, making it more realistic and sustainable for most people. What do you say, financial advisor, to that?
Right. I'm about to probably pack up my laptop and go find another job. No. Look, that's not too bad considering the basic amount. And that's probably a question that someone would ask. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah.
Think of all the people out there, as we mentioned, 20, 30, 40, 50 years old. Hey, how do I become, what was the question? Financially independent in 10 or 20 years.
Be financially independent.
Came back to what we mentioned before. The level of questioning you give it might determine the answer it gives you. I dare say if you were to then add to your question of, hey, I'm interested in shares, I earn 100 grand a year, my expenses are minimal, I'm happy with volatility, I'm happy that the share markets can go up and down, like, a Christmas diet sort of thing. That's quite general, which is good, and it outlines a few kind of relatively correct-ish answers.
It is very general advice, isn't it? It's not very personalised.
Maybe next time we stress test it with, hey, give us a 500 word answer, it might give a bit more elaboration. But there's an example for the listeners out there hitting GPT. It's quite general, which is fine. And usually with an advisor, if you meet them for the first time, everything will be quite general anyway. I do get asked that question a bit. Some people really try and get out of you, hey, what shares should I buy? Or I don't know, what kind of funds what kind of investments do you look at setting people up with, whatever. Yeah, we can talk about it, but I guess we definitely have to get to know you a little bit better to make sure what we're offering fits your personality, circumstances.
You know what I would do differently?
Go.
It's kind of, I guess, very general. I'd go, what's your incomes? For income, how much you're making in repayments. This is how much, cash flow we're kind of working with.
Yep.
Are you comfortable right now? Could you put aside $50 a week? If you put aside $50 a week, this is what it will look like in 10 years. If we do this, I feel like maybe we can make it more personal.
Yeah, see, you're smart, so you'll ask those questions. I would have asked those questions.
Yes,
Like, hey, what for breakfast? Don't answer that question. So I'll try. Yeah, okay, that's an interesting one on that one. Fair enough. All right.
You want to do the next one?
Sure. Next question we asked AI, hey, we didn't write hey, did we?
We like to be nice to ChatGPT.
Yep. Do you use please and thank yous? Don't call it like a douchebag or anything?
I used to, but it told me not to. It said it's wasting data space
Jesus.
and electricity by adding extra things on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What share should I buy to grow or get rich?
What's the answer?
Answer. There's no single share that guarantees getting rich. Long-term wealth is usually built by owning diversified, high-quality growth assets, not chasing tips. Many people use broad share market ETFs to capture overall market growth, combined with patience and regular investing. The biggest drivers of success are time in the market, consistency, diversification, and behavior, rather than picking the perfect stock. Not the worst answer.
get rich overnight? ChatGPT.
GPT didn't answer my question. I don't like reading much. That's why I wanted a 70-word answer. Doesn't give me anything. If a client asks you, hey, J-Mac, what share should I buy tomorrow that'll get me some money soon? Would your answer be similar? Be long-winded.
It would possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with it. There's no way to just get rich. It is a lot of patience and long-term investing. It's the get rich slow scheme. I guess that no one wants to admit that that might be the answer.
Funny it mentions biggest drivers of success are time in the market, consistency, diversification, and behaviour, rather than picking the perfect stock. Valid point. Doesn't mention anything. Well, I guess we asked it about shares. I'd be curious to know if we asked what assets should I buy to grow or get rich. That might be a story for another time. Again, quite general. Gets you to think about other things outside of the direct share. Interesting.
I was actually looking. I asked ChatGPT if it could give what type of advice, financial advice it could give. It can't actually legally give personal financial advice. So I guess this is why all the answers are quite general in nature. They're not legally allowed to give you personal advice yet.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It might. Can ASIC reach out and find them? No.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. All right, another big sort of question, or something we cover a fair bit with clients. Another wealth building strategy for the long term. You want to do the last question?
Yeah. What should I invest within my super? Or what should I invest in with my super to maximize my profits? And ChatGPT said there's no single best super investment for everyone. To maximize long-term growth, many people choose growth or high growth options with a higher allocation to shares, especially when retirement is decades away. The key to matching risk to your time horizon. The key is matching risks to your time horizon, staying diversified, keeping fees low, and remaining invested through market cycles rather than chasing short-term returns.
It's not the worst answer. All right, GPT, there's a few things you can work on, but that's all right. Funny you mentioned there's those keywords there. Many people maximize long-term growth. Many people choose growth or high growth options. Super funds kind of have, some of them have these funky names for like their diversified ready-made portfolios. Anything with like growth or high growth is usually a bit more aggressive, isn't it? It's kind of got like growth assets, so it's got a bit more shares or real estate or stuff in there. So it does outline that.
Yeah, not bad.
Again, with the shares thing, it mentions, say, the key to matching risk to your time horizon. The key is, staying diversified, keeping fees low. A lot of people don't care about fees, but when we outline fees, okay. Remaining invested through market cycles rather than chasing short-term returns. I definitely remember that in COVID. I knew a few people that jumped straight on and were chopping and changing their super allocations-wise, moving it to cash because they were like, well, I'm going to try and cash out while the markets are going down, and I'm going to buy back in when the market's at its lowest. I don't know anyone that timed it perfectly. It's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that not the worst answer? Pretty good. Maybe we just do one. We might just do a podcast on comparing our response to GPT.
Yeah.
Yeah, valid point.
Okay. If anyone's interested.
So for anyone listening, that's kind of a general outline on some of the questions you can ask it and what the response might be. Again, you can then deep dive a bit more with that and get it to give you a 500-word response, 1,000-word response, references to articles or reputable advisors or investors or real estate gurus or things like that. So you can stress test it as far as you want the upside. Okay. All right, J-Mac. All things good and small with our we talked about. What are some things to sort of look out for?
Can I just add to that last
Sure.
question?
Yep.
If that's okay. I guess what we would kind of do is, what's your super fund? List all the investment options that are within the fund.
Yep.
We can like go into, you're in the default strategy.
Yep.
Like what companies do you invest in? Is it Australian? Is it international? Do you have cash? Do you have property? And then give you like a deep understanding of that. And then,
Yep.
I mean, I wonder what would happen if you asked ChatGPT what super fund you should go with, whereas we might give you some ideas on that, some recommendations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, I feel like there's a lot more into that than guys
Just asking it now. That's the sound that it made. While waiting for it to stretch its hamstrings and figure itself out, what are some other things I guess you should look for? We might have touched on it before, but with AI, just some things. If you're hitting it with some questions, good, bad, or basic, what have you found that you've picked up on that isn't quite right, or that you've had to refine with it?
I've asked it some very direct questions and it's confidently given me a very direct answer, but sometimes it's just wrong.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, have you found that too?
Some, yeah, factually wrong. Yes, it might have, for example, tax rates. There was a period there, maybe last year in like August, September, maybe. I asked it some questions that spat out some info, showed how it had worked it out, and it was still running off uh, old tax rates. Might have been a couple of years ago, or whatever. Yeah, things like that. Things like superannuation rates haven't been updated because I guess it's got to be updated to be able to then provide the info. So if it's not updated or incorrect, then you'll get old information or incorrect information. It's not.
It kind of looks at one aspect and doesn't go. I think I asked it like, what's the cap for non-concessional contributions, like super contributions that are paid after tax, and it said 120 that you can do 120,000 a year, but it didn't tell me that you can actually do 360,000 a year using this bring forward.
Okay, yeah.
About, but
Yep.
It doesn't always get aspects, I guess. Yeah. So what did ChatGPT say?
All right. Basically, I asked, what super fund should I invest in? Answer, there's no single best super fund for everyone. The right fund depends on fees, investment options, performance over time, insurance and service, as well as your age and risk tolerance. For many people, low fee industry or retail funds with diversified investment options work well. The most important factors are keeping fees low, choosing an appropriate investment option, and staying invested long term. Okay, so it's all right. It's okay. Yeah, okay. All right, that's a bit of a segue. Another one, I guess what we're talking about, sort of look out for.
Yes.
Will AI, the platforms that are out there, ever become like Google and Yahoo, where it might push you towards something that might be paying it a certain type of viewing revenue or whatever? Because Google is definitely like that. Hey, you pay for an advertisement, we'll spruik your stuff. Kind of like Facebook, I guess. You can advertise on Facebook, you can advertise on Google.
Yeah.
I don't know if and when that happens with AI, but that might then change potentially some of the answers it gives you, unless you really want factual stuff. So
Google, you can see what's sponsored and what's not. So.
Correct. Yeah. And again, what to look out for with some of the answers you get from AI, especially financial ones, they can be determined by the type of questions you ask it. We asked it really basic ones and it gave us pretty general basic answers. You can definitely, I suppose you can ask AI to provide you with real in-depth financial questions and then ask those questions to AI. Did I just lose myself down here? Yeah, good. That was a good chat. Yeah, but the answer can sometimes only be as good as the question asked. Yeah.
What question?
Yeah. If you don't know the question asked, you probably won't get the best answer. All right.
So.
And I guess maybe one for you, J-Mac. AI is great in a heap of areas, lacking in some. We talked about the human factor. Have you had to And can you give an example of when you've sort of had to give clients a bit of a hard truth on something?
Yeah.
Ouch, I'm not seeing you. Hot tip for our listeners out there, J-Mac will be too honest. I'll maybe just offer a cuddle and go, look, it's okay. No, it's a joke. Sometimes, maybe not that we're doctors or anything, we can be financial doctors, but sometimes the hard truth needs to be sort of outlined. And sometimes it isn't always the best to hear. Yeah, did you want to give an example?
I hate giving people hard truths, but with their own goods. I guess we have a lot of people that are coming in close to retirement, and some
Define retirement. They want to retire.
could say the Centrelink age pension or the
Superannuation or something.
superannuation
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like a pension.
yeah.
Some of them, well, most of them are really good. They've got pensions lined up and lots of super funds, but you know, there's some that come in and are living off $120,000, $130,000 in their hand, and
Yeah.
maybe they've only got 60, 70 grand a year that they can get between their superannuation and the Centrelink age pension, and they're not kind of understanding that that's going to happen soon, and that's a hard truth to give because it's
Yep.
people's income and it's dramatically
Yeah,
dropping.
right point.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I don't
Yeah.
like doing those ones.
Dang.
But we can
Yeah.
always give options, which is good, and
Yep.
then people are well informed rather than, oh, I'm going to keep spending $120,000 from my super, and it runs out in 10, 20 years. So.
True. Yeah.
Would
and
I do that, do you think?
don't know. I haven't asked it that, but it's curious because it's something we need to outline to someone when they're like, sweet, I've got all this money. Sure. This is what it looks like if you burn it up or if you don't invest it or you take it too much, or sometimes it's just, it is what it is. You kind of only thought about your retirement 2 years ago and that's why you've only got 50 grand in your super. So maybe that's something that AI might not be able to provide you if you don't ask that question, whereas we can, and we can be there to reassure people that, you know, work out a strategy that gets them to something, to somewhere they need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a valid point. And look, yeah, okay. All right, we've done a bit on the AI side. That might do us for that AI side until the next breakthrough in technology, and it just stick a chip behind your ear or in your bottom, and it just uploads a heap of information, kind of like the Matrix, but you know, there's a budget product and there's a real smart product. And
budget one,
yeah,
go on the bottom.
read. Yep. Food for thought, and that'll get you an auto upload on what you need to do with your finances. Good chat. Do not edit that out. People need to hear that. Yeah. Cool. All right, listeners. And J-Mate.
Always a pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Ciao, homies. Bye.